Hey guys, it's Greg with By the Bootstraps, btbootstraps.com. Check out the store, like and subscribe to videos. Check out social media, Facebook, it's at btbootstraps.com. Reading the news today, saw a bunch of stories, and it just made me think about where we are as a nation and as a country. And so I wrote down some top headlines from today. Got about 6 or 7 of them. I'm just kind of go through them, and I just want to ask, where have we gotten to? You know, comment below, let me know what you guys think about this, okay? So, first one, by the way, these all came from Washington Post and CNN and USA Today. And I think 1 or 2 of them came from Breitbart as well, okay? So, first one is House Democrats passed bill nullifying Trump's national emergency with less than veto-proof majority. Why? You know, I assume it has to be symbolic, but I go back to what I said earlier in some of my previous videos is, what is wrong with securing our country? You know, and all these Democrats who are doing this, you know, they have a right to do it, I guess, but are they listening to their constituents? Are they voting with that? Or are they just going down party lines for obstructing the president because, you know, orange man bad? I don't get it. All right. Next one is thousands of unoccupied illegal minors are sexually abused while in U.S. custody, 65% at the hands of other illegal minors. Well, that's in a study of 4 years, or in a span of 4 years. So you've had thousands of children, minors, who, because of the law that was passed by Obama to separate families so that they could determine that the people who were coming in with these children, that those children actually belong to the people who say that they actually are their children. Because unless we verify, we don't know. But in the meantime, these children are being molested and abused by the hands of other children in these systems. Now keep in mind, we classify anyone of the age of 18 and under as children. You know, well, Trayvon Martin was 16 or 17 at the time, and look how that turned out. You know, just throwing that out there, something to think about. Supreme Court to set fate a war memorial cross. All right, now this one right here just baffles my mind. Apparently groups of atheists are complaining because there is a giant cross in Maryland that was erected for a World War I memorial for the men and women who fought in World War I who died. So they erected this large cross. It's the same cross that's on the cemetery headstones in like Arlington National Park and some of the other memorial parks and cemeteries that are out there. They apparently don't like that, and they want to have it taken down and removed. So the Supreme Court is actually going to decide and rule on that tomorrow. But how much of a shit stain of a person do you have to be to take offense to that? You know, oh look, there's a cross, I hate it. Yeah, well, I hate those Darwin fish. You know, I don't believe in evolution like that. I believe in adaptation, but not so much evolution. So can I sit there and say, hey, since I disagree with it, you all have to remove that from your cars or from your homes or from the flags or any of that stuff, or the rainbow flag? Not saying that I do or don't, but let's just say if I go, oh, I disagree with that because I'm not gay, and so therefore you shouldn't be allowed to have that because I disagree with it. No, if you don't like it, don't look at it. Leave it alone. You know, it's not bothering you. Plus, it's a World War I memorial. Shit stains. The next one, Kamala Harris says that we should pay reparations for slave descendants. Wow, pandering much? Buying votes? You know, if you care that much about slavery, Kamala, why don't you go talk to the African tribes who sold their own countrymen into slavery, you know, for goods, services, spices, things of that nature. You know, there is this thing called indigent servitude. Irish people had to go through this. I should know. I'm descendant of Irish people. So, you know, people within my family had indigent servitude. All right. Now, I'm not saying slavery is a good thing, because it certainly is not. But I think this nation, more than anyone else, has actually tried to address this and right the wrongs of the past, more so than anyone else in the world. But if you're going to talk about slavery, about what's going on, why don't you address the fact that slavery is still an active part in Africa? It's still happening in the Middle East. It's still going on in the world. You know, it's just about as dumb as feminists complaining about, feminist rights here in America. Well, that's really great. I'm glad you decided to pick a safe location to do that. Why don't you take your happy asses to the Middle East and make those same claims and see how far that goes? See, Dems are calling for Trump's impeachment. No news there, but it's in the news. You do realize that just because he gets impeached or because he's, set for impeachment, this doesn't automatically mean he's removed from office. It's got to go through the Senate, has to vote on it, and that's Republican majority at this point. And I don't think they're going to rule him out and kick him out of office. So again, more of one of those symbolism kind of things. I don't understand it. You have the right to do it, but it seems like a waste of time and money. Kind of like the Mueller investigation. Oh, here's one of my favorites. Ocasio-Cortez's Green Deal. Well, that's really great, except that it's going to cost roughly $93 trillion. We already have a national debt of, what, $20 trillion, I think it is? Now you want to add an extra $93 trillion to that? And this Green New Deal, let's call it what it is, guys. It's socialism. They want to pay people to not work. They want to retrofit all the homes, every building, to be energy efficient. Which I'm all for that. If the private sector can put that together and provide some kind of, provide some kind of resource or incentive to do so, I'm all for that. But to just dictate it through government mandate, okay. Michael Cohen apparently is testifying before Congress. And what's really funny about that is that weren't these the same assholes in Congress just no more than 6 months ago calling the man a liar, can't be believed, he needs to go to jail. But now that he's testifying against the president, oh, this guy is an outstanding, believable individual. Hypocritical? I don't understand you people at all. I really don't understand you. You sit there and say on one breath that the man is a liar and he can't be trusted. But because he's testifying against the president, you guys are ejaculating over yourselves in ecstasy about how great of a person he is. He's sitting in jail for 3 years. Not to mention, what a shitty man. Whether... I don't approve of the whole entire Stormy Daniels thing at all. In fact, I think that's really crappy, Trump, for doing that. If it's true. Again, it's alleged, but if it's true. Having an affair on your wife, that's not acceptable. That's not something that I would do morally. That's just not something I would do personally. It's not something that I stand up for. But the man was not the president at the time, and he paid her to have, what was it, not a slush fund, but he paid her to basically to have a gag order per se. I can't remember what you would call it, but I guess a gag order is probably the best word for it. She took the money for that and agreed to it, and then after the fact reneged on it and tried to get more money. I guess a slut's gonna keep slutting. And then the last one that gets me, and this is one that just sickens me. There was a bill that the Republicans put out. It was called the Born Alive Abortion Survival Protection Act. It didn't get enough votes in the Senate, the 60 vote threshold, to continue on for legislation, and be passed on. All but 3 Democrats voted against it. Now, the bill is apparently supposed to allow a child who survived an abortion to be viable and allowed to live. And the Democrats thought that, no, that's not good. So a baby who was born can now be terminated. I don't agree with abortion just on a moral standpoint. I know there's circumstances where it should be allowed, particularly when it comes to the welfare and health of the mother. But in my mind, and I'm speaking strictly through my mind, it's not birth control. You don't accidentally get pregnant. You don't bounce on a dick and just magically a baby appears. It's an action. It's something you make choices in doing. Terminating a life of a child that's viable, that's murder. And especially if they survive the abortion, now you're just not going to give them the right for health care. That's just detestable. These are what was in the news just today. I wasn't even going to do a video about this. I really wasn't. But my wife and I were reading the stories as we got home, and we were discussing them. It's one of those, where have we gotten to? Just where have we gotten to? All the Democratic senators that are running for president right now are all pushing essentially to buy votes. And I understand all politicians do this. Both sides are guilty. But the pandering is just absurd at this point. Reparations, Bernie Sanders, the 77-year-old socialist, self-admitted socialist, he is the savior. He's the one who's pulling ahead of the pack. The man doesn't even practice what he preaches. There's a story in the news today where the Clinton campaign that he stumped for had mentioned how he demanded he had private flights, jet flights, and that he wanted to be reimbursed for his travel expenses to the tune of $100,000. And I get that. I mean, he was going across country, on the stump for her. I get it. But if the man says die-hard socialist, and distribution of wealth that he talks about, why was he not taking the trains? Or why was he not taking commercial jets? Private jets? Of course, this is also the same man who owns 3 homes. But hey, it's good for us, but not for them. Anyway, comment below, let me know what you guys think. I'm sickened by this stuff. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. But I'm just curious to know what you guys think about it. Anyway, check out the store, btbootstraps.com. I'll talk to you guys later.